Welcome back to Stubbs Aquatics. In this episode, we're going to talk about a pretty sad guy. It's a tale of a story of a guy named Stubb and his issue with Cyprinids. See, he's got an addiction to them. Yeah, it's true. I had to think about it for a long time, but what are the species I have? I've got Barbs, which are a Cyprinid. I've got mountain minnows. Minnows, again, Cyprinid. And I've got koi, Cyprinid. Goldfish, Cyprinid. And this barb addiction I have it's just getting worse and worse. I'm now setting up different new tanks and dreaming about putting new areas in so I can have more barbs, and I'm even dreaming of another barb species. I think I need help. So I'm probably going to call Michael from FishEZ to see if he can hook me up with some more barbs. Well, join me on this week's episode as I deal with my barb addiction and Cyprinid addiction. But it's all in good fun, and the only one that gets hurt is my pocketbook, and maybe take over a bit more of the room at the house. Oh well. I started out with a few rosy barbs and Odessa barbs. Then I got hung up on mainly Odessas because they're just so beautiful. I've reserved this tank for basically just them. My plan for these guys is they'll go outside for the summer again, and hopefully I can get them to breed. I don't do the breeding in the small tanks like Michael. I wish I had that capability and the tanks, but I just don't. So they'll be going outside. I'll set up proper media for them, and hopefully I'll get some of the fry to survive. Then at the end of the summer, these guys will come back inside, but they'll be going to a different tank, I think, but I'm not quite sure yet. I've even planted this tank now with Java fern, some anubias. I think my wife dies every time I say anubias. And I put one sword, Amazon sword in there. I'm hoping they'll leave it alone for the most part. I attempted some Java fern in with the rosy barbs, and I had to move it. It was this one right here, and you can see they started shredding it already. So they've come in here with the Odessas. So this I hope to leave as a planted tank, and I just have to add a couple more things for my new found barb addiction, but we'll get to that later on. These are my checkered barbs that I got from Michael. They're doing really well. Haven't had a problem with not a one. They're really healthy. They're growing. They're doing well in this planted tank and seem to be leaving the plants alone for the most part. Really am liking the coloring on these guys already. These guys will stay inside, and they'll go to a bigger tank, that being the ones that I keep. This is my 40-gallon breeder that's in my microfish room. Here you can see I've got two different types of rosy barbs. I've got some long fin and the standard fin. I've also got some gold barb and some small Odessas. Now the plan for these guys is the gold barbs and the rosy barbs will go out into two different breeding ponds, and I'll breed them over the summer outside. I did really well with the rosy barbs, but they're pretty easy to breed. I really wanted to put some live plants in here, but the rosy barbs just shredded them. What I have been able to grow is some water lettuce. They leave that alone for the most part. I've also got a spider plant growing outside and some pothos. And so that is about as close as I can do to a planted tank, unfortunately, with these type of barbs. But the way I've got it set up is that it's set up more like a stream with both filters hang on back pushing the long way on this 40-gallon breeder, and it sets up a pretty good current that these fish seem to enjoy swimming against. They're really active and really healthy. I'm thinking a couple different species once the majority of these fish go to a larger unheated room, as in standard basement temperature of about 67, 68 degrees. Be some different species going in here after that. But that's, again, part of my newfound barb addiction. So now that I've gone through a lot of my barb addiction and talked about it with you, there's some more I need to add, and I just can't been able to find them. And I'd like to get one of the three, whether it's Aurelius barb, mascara barb, or the filament barb. I'll take any of those. I just want to get a good colony going. And the best part about Aurelius and most of the other barbs that I select is they're relatively cool water hardy. Ideally, at the end of the summer, I would like most of my barbs to be able to go into my main fish room, that being with unheated tanks. And most of these species are pretty cool water hardy. Aurelius barbs, they can do the mid-60s. Same with Odessas, rosy barbs, and gold barbs. The only barbs that would probably really need the extra heat would be filament and mascara. They might want a little bit more. And definitely the checker barbs would ideally like it at least 70 to 72. I may talk to Michael about some of his beautiful green tiger barbs. They might be a nice addition to my mixed tank, as most of those will end up going into the main fish room, into a larger tank that I'm really looking forward to rescaping, but that won't be until the end of the summer. Well, thanks for tuning in to this short I have a problem with barb video. Yeah. What can you do?